Don't get me wrong. I agree with the idea and the principle of having a national insurance scheme, yeah? Because a lot of us probably wouldn't put anything away for a rainy day, meaning we wouldn't have a pension if not for the government forcing us to have some sort of income. I'm not going to be 100% reliant on the government for benefits and handouts for just the general cost of living. So it makes sense. But did you know that the average person, if you've been working full time all your life, the likelihood is you haven't applied for any job seekers allowance. You haven't had any, housing benefit. You haven't had any disability living allowance. You haven't had any kind of benefits from the government. And if you're a relatively healthy person, you've probably not been a drain on the NHS. You probably really go to the GP. As a man, I can count on my hand the number of times I've been to my GP or even been admitted to a hospital for anything. But yes, I agree. My family have used the NHS, and yeah, members of my family and people I care about also use GP services. I get that. And the more healthy you are, the more honest and hardworking you are, it means it's almost as if you pay a premium tax for being a good, healthy person. The system should be geared towards encouraging good behaviors, right? So therefore, it needs to reward those hardworking people by potentially taxing them less and giving them more benefit at the end of their good work. So, for example, if I stopped work today and I started to claim job seekers allowance, or I started to claim benefits to support my housing and to have food and to have enough food to eat, and then I decided, well, the money I'm getting from the government isn't enough to sustain the lifestyle that I want to live, and I don't want to get a job, I can make a lot of money in the short term by selling drugs, because it's a very popular thing that people like to buy, and it's cash, so I can probably get away with it for quite a while. But then I've got to deal with all the headache of the criminal world and dealing with, nefarious individuals and whatever comes of that lifestyle. But even if I got caught by the police and ended up in jail, the government is there again to pay for the room that I'm living in, and they'll feed me, they'll clothe me, and if I get sick, the NHS is there, and if I'm in prison, the hospital and the prison or the prison medical will look after me, right? So it makes you wonder, this country is probably, either way, even if you're an honest person, you pay through the nose for everything, parking tickets, council tax, just, I don't know, it's a bit of a racket. So no wonder people put the money under their mattress, or people have a little side hustle that they keep from the government and it's just cash only. You're probably better off in this country where, I guess you can get a good education here. Training, skills, education, because if you've been trained or educated in the UK, potentially you can go overseas and earn really good money at a lower tax rate and be able to take more money away with you at the end of the day. However, if you're an honest person who's law-abiding, who's healthy, and independent, that means you live without any, yes, of course, the street lights you use, the roads you use, public transport potentially occasionally, but then all those things come at a premium to you, because not only do you pay for the infrastructure development through your taxes, you pay to use those services. So trying to be, how hard is it to be a good person in this country? How difficult is it? I mean, we're trying to raise our young people to be serious and get a career and work hard and, live a good life. But when everything's stacked against you, when it comes to being a good person, because the moment you're 16, you get a national insurance number. And from that day, your every activity is tracked. You're in the system. So there's no getting around it. You try getting anything without a birth certificate or a national insurance number, you can't operate off the grid. Well, you can try, but, I don't know, it's just not set up that way. And it just feels like, well, what is the point? And why aren't we protesting about that? But being old and poor in this country is horrible. And we don't say enough about it. And we're one of the richest countries in the world. There's a lot we can do. There's a lot of wastage. And there's a lot of people making lots of money that don't pay their fair share. The country's killing the good people. It's almost like you pay a premium to be a good, honest person in this country. And I don't understand why. I don't understand why none of us are protesting about this. It's almost as if you pay a premium to be a good person in the UK. And it is a damn shame, because there are so many hardworking, good people who take nothing from the government, who rely very little on the government, and yet they get stung, literally, left, right and centre. They literally get stung, and it's unfair.